Yeah.
Right. Now, you always have to be asking the historical question, what is it? Okay, it's a city, but what city? Can we identify it geographically from some historical source? The answer to that question here is an interesting one, because even though the Iron Age city, the city wall runs all the way around the top of the upper tell here, even though the Iron Age city here only makes up less than, probably about somewhere between 5 and 10% of the total occupational footprint of the site, so it's a very small component, it's still the largest Iron Age city in the valley, in the whole Jordan Valley. It's as big as Bet-Shan in the Iron Age. It's bigger. It's bigger than Pella. It's bigger than Dirala. So this is, even though it's small comparatively to the rest of Tall el Hammam, it's still on the upper end of size for the Iron Age for the valley. So what is it? Who built it? We have a pretty good idea, I think. It was built originally in the 10th century BC. This tower, this is the East Gate Tower for the upper city. You can see how big the walls are. It's almost a 2-meter wall. It's about a 1.5 meter wall. These walls are very large. This is a monumental gate system. It has a matching tower on the other side. This phase of the gate that I'm standing on was built sometime around probably the 8th century and used to its destruction probably by the Babylonians. So in the late 7th, early 6th century, the Babylonian destruction, the same one that took out Jerusalem, the same one you read about in the Bible, probably took this city out as well. But who built it originally? Now, this building also dates to the same period. I think maybe it's a little earlier than this tower. You can see it doesn't line up with the tower at all. It sits off at a different angle. Here's a doorway or a window. See the foundations, the stone foundations are very deep. See that little pile of dirt? That's a mud brick. So that's a mud brick that's attached right to this foundation. So we have the foundation 100% complete. As this one is 100% complete to its leveling course, above this goes the mud brick superstructure. Above that goes the mud brick superstructure. So since it's so dry and hot here in the valley, it's so hot in the summer, mud brick is really a great building tool because it's very insulated. And there's a lot of dirt as you go around. So you can make mud bricks by the millions, and it's a good building material. It's actually better, more stable than stone as long as you can make good ones. And so they made very good ones here, but of course this is an earthquake-prone area here in the Rift Valley. And of course the cities get shaken down periodically, so there's a lot of earthquake damage in all the archaeological layers. But they just keep going. You keep rebuilding. You get up the next morning and level things out and start up again.
So
over and over and over.
This is the foundation.
This is the foundation. Stones only make up foundations. All superstructures are mud brick.
So why did they have doors in the foundation?
Don't know. The rest of the doorway probably is up here of mud brick. It just gives them a more stable doorway. This is monumental construction. This is public stuff. This is administrative building. This is way too big for domestic architecture. Domestic architecture is usually just one mud brick wide, maybe 1.5. This is much bigger.
They've had a basement, maybe?
Yeah, basements, and they're multi-storied as well. So 2, 3, 4 stories, generally speaking. So who built the city? As you see down here, we have a lower level. There's another gateway underneath. You can see part of it here. You can see part of it there. That is probably, the configuration of it as we see it, is probably the classic 6-chambered gateway that you see at Hatzor, Megiddo, Gezer, all of which were built by who? Solomon. We think Solomon was the first one to come back to this site after its 600-700 year occupational hiatus and build a city here. The Bible does not tell it. You know, Solomon had 2 capital cities in the Transjordan. he had 2 Transjordan districts. He had 12 administrative districts in his kingdom. He had 2 in the Transjordan, Gilead and up north in the Bashan area. Okay, we think this was Solomon's capital, or I think anyway. I think this was Solomon's capital that he built here for his Gilead district. And there's a reason for it, because you can see Jerusalem from here. You can signal Jerusalem
What did he call it?
from here. We don't know. The Bible does not give us the name of the city. It gives us the name of the king of the city, but it does not give us the name of that capital city. So this is the biggest, when you put together the idea that this is the biggest, best built Iron Age city, 10th century city in the region, and it's within eye shot of Jerusalem. That's where I'd want my capital city, where I could signal back and forth. So it makes sense. We'll never be able to prove that. We always thought it'd be interesting if we could uncover here an archive from the time of King Solomon that would confirm the existence of King Solomon. Wouldn't that be fun? Because it's probably not going to happen in Jerusalem. Maybe here. Here's a perfect example of using the Bronze Age material. Here's a saddle quern, a grinding stone from the Bronze Age, used as just a building stone.
What do you think that smaller cobbles down there represent, a road or?
Very good. Good eye, Steve. The phases here at the top, this structure, as I said, is about 8th century or so. That's the 10th century gate structure, earlier. Underneath that, or associated with that 10th century gate structure, is a cobble layer. So all that cobble layer that you see right there is a plaza. It extends all the way out. We don't know exactly how far, but it goes all the way out to at least that there. So this gate had a large interior plaza made of cobbles.
So the gate was.
And that would have been the 10th century gate made during the time of Solomon. This is all made later, where the city is strengthened. But that down there, right there, see the wall going there, wall going there. See that little round? It's really not an oven. It's a clay-lined storage pit. Okay, and that's a Middle Bronze Age house. That was our first Middle Bronze Age exposure. It's the first time we actually saw it. And we saw it in the rampart early on.
So then, what the cobbles represent when they plowed over and started building on top of it?
The cobbles were there when this gate was here. When they decided to build a new gate, they put their foundation right up over the cobbles. They just went right over the cobbles, built it up, and built a whole new interior gate system. I say interior gate system because the other gate system, you can see there's an approach road right there, and there's Lane Rittmeyer thinks there's another gate system down here. Lane's doing our drawings for us, and he can see things that we can't. And so, in the Iron Age city, probably 1. That's typical. In the early Bronze city, it's so big, probably 20. I mean, they're probably spaced periodically. But anyway, so the Middle Bronze Age, when we got down to that Middle Bronze Age, it's sitting in a meter of really black ash, nasty destruction debris. It's really, really amazing. The roofing material is burned to a crisp. You can see the wattle and daub, and you can still see the reeds going through it. And when you smell it, it smells very strongly of sulfur. It's a nasty, ugly, churned up. I'll talk about that. But there it is. That's the terminal destruction of the Middle Bronze Age, the time of Abraham and Lot. So it's the pottery was. We found two Middle Bronze storage jars here, piriform juglets, which is unique to the Middle Bronze period, right over there. So we knew from the pottery that we were cleanly in the Bronze Age, and that was there, probably totally unknown to the Iron Age folks when they came back to build.
Do you figure you're in subsoil down there?
No.
Yeah,
No, we think the bedrock, to hit bedrock, we'd probably have to dig down maybe another 8-10 meters.
Yeah, that's where you're going to be in the bottom.
Because under this is Middle Bronze 1. Under that is Intermediate 2. then Intermediate 1, then EB3, then EB2, then EB1. It's all going down to bedrock. So it's pretty deep.
So this site was here, or strategically here since the beginning.
This may be, everybody says Jericho's the oldest city in the world. Compared to Tall el Hammam, Jericho is a pimple. You can put 12 Jerichos on the footprint of Tall el Hammam. They do have a Neolithic city, but we also think we'll find a Neolithic city here. We think their Neolithic migrated from here.
And the reason